Hey y'all, welcome back to the frying pan of the Chrispy Fried Take Sports podcast, where I give you some of the crispiest takes possible or some that are just incredibly burnt. I'm your host Chrispy, and today in the frying pan, I review the first round of the NBA playoffs. I give you a little taste of the Dallas Stars in the playoffs. I talk about the new king and queen of golf. And from burnt to crispy, I rank the Nintendo console Wii games like Wii Sports, Wii Fit, all of that fun stuff. And as always, to close out the show, what happened today in sports history? It's April 23rd, 2024, so let's get sizzling. It's the first round of the NBA playoffs, and if your team is at home, well, guess what? You're in luck, because all home teams are undefeated so far during opening, day weekend of the NBA playoffs, something along the lines of that, And this hasn't happened this is the first time it's happened since 2013. Pretty crazy. Usually there's like one mismatch up or whatever, where the lower seed plays really well against the higher seed, but not this time. And I'll separate it into the West and the East. And so we'll start with the West, and I'll kind of run down how the early first game or two of the playoffs have gone for all these teams. And something that's notable that I found is that NBA teams are actually playing defense, which is crazy because you see in the regular season there was games that would get to like 120, 130, for both teams. And it would just be like, goodness gracious, there's no defense being played at all. Like, you're just letting them score. You're just letting them dunk. If he's a three, you're not going to run up and contest it. Not anymore, because defense is played. And this is very noticeable. And the first game I'm going to cover, the Thunder, the 1-seed Thunder versus the 8-seed Pelicans. And in my bracket from like the last episode, I had the Thunder like in 4 or 5. So, and I think I'm on track for that. But guess what? It played a lot closer than what I was thinking, because the Thunder won 94-92. And that's pretty crazy because CJ McCollum could have won the game for the Pelicans because they have no Zion Williamson. He's hurt. He's out. He's their main star this whole season, and he was especially their best player in the play-in game. And so, the Pelicans could have won because at the last 14 seconds, CJ McCollum decided, you know what? The ball's going to be in my court. It's going to be in my hands. And he held the ball for 14 seconds and shot like a horrible pump fake three, leaning three, and just kind of was a brick and lost the game. So maybe not put the ball in his hands, find someone else like Brandon Ingram, But, yeah, it was a great game because the Thunder have an MVP finalist, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's a finalist for MVP, and he scored 28 points in that game. He did his job. He always averages like 30, so he did a great job for him. And this is also the first time the Thunder have won a home playoff game since 2019, so that's incredible. They haven't been relevant since, I guess, like 2020, 21, 22, 23, 20, 5 years. So props to the Thunder. There's nothing else to do in Oklahoma City, so I mean, those people would probably go crazy if they didn't win a playoff game, because that's the only major sport in Oklahoma. They got no NFL, no NHL, not even soccer. They just got NBA. So, for a state that only has one professional sports team, it's kind of sad they haven't won since 2019. But it's whatever. Good for them. They got the youngest team in the NBA. I think they'll continue to be like this for a while, being a top seed. They've got all the talent. I mean, they've got every single player. If Chet Holmgren can put on a ton of weight, oh man, they're dangerous. And so anyway, that's the 1 seed. I'm pretty accurate on my prediction for the Thunder versus Pelicans. I think the Thunder will beat them, but I think the Pelicans are playing a little closer than what I was expecting, which is pretty interesting. Up next, we have the 2 Nuggets versus the 7 Lakers. And if you're a Nuggets fan, you're really happy because you've won 10 consecutive wins against the Lakers, starting from last season in the playoffs, which is pretty crazy because the Lakers have LeBron James, who's the second best player of all time, and they've got Anthony Davis. I know he's kind of been hurt a lot, but he's still the only reason why the Lakers are in the playoffs along with LeBron. Those are the only two players that are really good, but for the Nuggets to just beat him outright and 10 straight wins against these guys is crazy. And in game 1, they've played 2 games, and the Nuggets are up 2-0 in that series because game 1, the Nuggets looked very dominant. I mean, they frustrated Darvin Ham, the head coach. They frustrated LeBron. They frustrated Anthony Davis. They frustrated the whole entire Los Angeles. And guess what? It's so funny because if you look up YouTube clips of the Denver head coach, Michael Malone, he's just like, yeah, we own them. We're better. That's basically what he says, Why should I be worried about the Lakers if we've been beating them? That's kind of what he says. And it's just so funny because everyone's like, he's talking smack. He shouldn't be talking all of this. Well, he should because he's beaten y'all 10 times in a row. And even if you'll win 1 or 2 games, they're probably going to win, a million more until that happens. So it's crazy. Now in game 2, it wasn't so dominant, but the Nuggets still won because Jamal Murray hit a buzzer beater over Anthony Davis. And this was an all-around great game for the Lakers. Besides the fact they lost, they played a complete game, it looked like. They were killing the Nuggets so much that they were up by 20, and then the Nuggets showed out. I mean, Jokic had a triple-double, and Jamal Murray just, he started heating up a little bit. And they came from, I guess, if the Lakers were up 20 points, that means the Nuggets were down by 20. So the Nuggets came back by 20 points, which is crazy. I mean, in a playoff game, they're playing defense. They're actually playing defense against you, and you hit like kind of that leaning jumper over Anthony Davis and win it legitimately at the buzzer. No time was left and fall in the stands. And also for the Lakers, D'Angelo Russell had a career-high 7-3. So you have guys hitting career highs, and they still can't beat the Nuggets. Wow. I mean, that just shows how complete of a team the Nuggets are because, I mean, they won last season. They lost like Bruce Brown and maybe one other player that I can't think of, but they still have the same team they won. They still have the same starting 5, it seems like. I mean, they still have the chemistry. I mean, they all trust each other, which is huge, and they'll always talk about that they trust each other. It doesn't matter who. And so my prediction for the Nuggets to win in like 5 or 6, pretty good. Pretty good. We're doing pretty good so far. I'm doing pretty good. Props to me. Not to feed my own ego, but, Anyway, this is actually, never mind. Now I'm getting to this game. Now we're getting to the 3 Timberwolves versus the 6 Suns, and I had the Suns winning in like 6. And I'm going to be totally wrong about that because the Timberwolves beat them 120-95 in game 1. Now, I did mention that Karl Anthony Towns has made his return, but he made an impact. He made an impact upon his return. It seemed like it spread out the floor a little bit. And also, Anthony Davis, he looked unstoppable, scoring 18 of his 33 points in the third quarter, just to kind of edge out the Suns then and just kind of dominate them the whole entire rest of the game. Durant also scored 31, but the role player like Grayson Allen, he's their 3-point specialist. He had 45% 3-point percentage in the league. He missed like all of his 3-pointers but one. I think he scored 4 points, and I did not expect the Timberwolves to play like this. And Gobert, everyone kind of like hates Gobert because he did the COVID thing where he touched all the microphones and he got COVID and the whole entire league shut down. And then he also doesn't play he plays like a European player instead of like an NBA player. He plays his role, just gets rebounds, put it up, set screens. And, that's kind of not how Americans like to play basketball. They like the ball in their hands. They like crazy shots, and Gobert's kind of the opposite. But he was looking good. He had a double-double in that game. And I don't know, unless the Suns turned it up a notch. I don't think the Suns are going to win this, even though they got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Nurkic. I mean, they've got a really good team, and it just seems like the Timberwolves are better, which is surprising because I don't think anybody, even though the Timberwolves are the 3 seed, I don't think they expected the first game to be 120-95. I certainly did not. And then the last game in the Western Conference, the 4 Clippers versus the 5 seed Mavericks. Boy, oh boy, did the Mavs not look good in that game. The Clippers did not even have Kawhi Leonard. They had old James Harden, old Paul George, and Ivica Zubac as their best players. I mean, They didn't have Kawhi. It was just bad. It's like old versus young, and these old guys are kind of hungry because Paul George never won an NBA championship. James Harden never won an NBA championship. Kawhi won it with Toronto, but he'd want some more. Their head coach never. Actually, did Ty Lue win? Did Ty Lue? He was with LeBron. Did he win? Has Ty Lue won? Because I don't know. Because was he with LeBron on the Cavs team? I think he was. Let me look it up. I'm looking it up. He's a he's a 2-time NBA champion as a player, and he was the okay. Yeah, he was on that 2016 Cavs. He was a 2016 Cavs head coach. Okay, so he has won a ring. I thought he was a little bit hungry, but he still wants to win an NBA championship. Everyone wants to. Why am I even saying this like that? Everyone wants to win an NBA championship, but and you're playing against the young Luka, Kyrie. They look good, but play Daniel Gafford. Golly, just play him. Ivica Zubac looked like a monster. He's just another version of Rudy Gobert. And Gobert's good, but Zubac is not that great. He's got, but I can't really say that now because he had a double-double against us, and he just perfected the pick and roll with James Harden. It's just ridiculous that they didn't have Kawhi Leonard and the Mavs still couldn't step it up. Doncic had 33 points and 13 rebounds, and Irving had 31 points, but literally no one else on the team could do anything. And that's where they struggle. That's where the Dallas Mavericks struggle. They need that third player to rise up. Someone, whether it's Daniel Gafford, P.J. Washington, Derek Jones Jr., anybody, just please show up and give us that third option. We need that to win the championship. But if I didn't mention the Clippers won 109-97 and the Mavs were down by 25 points at one point. They clawed back, but it was too late. But I expect the series to go to 7. I still can hold strong. Mavs in 7. But it's going to be a rough Mavs in 7 if that's how it ends up being. But, I think the second game is tonight when I'm filming this episode. Hopefully I'm right when it comes out. But I think the Mavs can even the series 1-1. And we get to play them at home. So that's kind of how the West looks. I think my prediction was actually pretty accurate besides the Suns. So 3 for 4, honestly. So that's pretty good. I like that. I like that pick. I like my picks. And then we move to the East. East is a little bit more easily predictable, I think, than the West. The West has just been crazy this whole season. I think with the East now, with the East being how it is, I think it's easier to predict because there's a big gap between all the teams, it seems like. So we'll start out with the 1, Celtics versus 8 Heat. Jimmy Butler's hurt. He's out. He's gone, and that just makes it way easier for the Celtics because the rest of the Heat team's not their kryptonite, but Jimmy Butler is. And with him out, the Celtics kind of had an easier path. They won 114-94. Jason Tatum had his first ever playoff career triple-double. They just look solid. Got revenge against the Heat. And also in the regular season at home, the Celtics are 38-4. So, they're not going to lose 4 games at home, it seems like. And also the star player in the Heat was Bam Adebayo with 24 points. But, the Heat are a bunch of kind of role player specialists. They're missing Jimmy. I think Celtics in 4. That's just how I see it. I think this is a little bit of an easy game. No game or series is easy, but I think the Celtics definitely have one of the easiest matchups possible. You just when a team has their star player out, it's hard to win. And then next we have the Nova Knicks versus the 76ers, the 2 seed versus the 7. And wow, I nearly forgot. This game was crazy. Game 2. Now, the Knicks are up 2-0, but I recommend, if you never look up a YouTube clip from me, look up this YouTube clip. You got a double, you got a bang, bang from Mike Breen. That's how rare it is. That's how great this game was. Because here's kind of how it happened. The final seconds, you had Dante DiVincenzo. We'll just say Dante. Dante had, 10 seconds left in the game, and he put up a shot, probably 15, honestly. 15 seconds left, put up a shot, absolutely missed. But there was like a million people gunning for a rebound. You had Tyrese Maxey trying to get the rebound. You had Isaiah Hartenstein trying to get a rebound. Jalen Brunson. And the ball just kept on moving all over the place along the court as everyone was trying to get the rebound. So after Dante missed, that ball was moving everywhere for seconds. And then somehow, some way, Dante got the ball after like 10 seconds and shot the ball again and put the Knicks in the lead with a 3 to go up 2-0. And you look at the interviews after that game with Joel Embiid, he's just like, oh my goodness. I mean, he said we should be up 2-0 right now, so I'm not worried. I'd be worried because right now the Knicks are looking way better, and you could win a game or two, but the New York Knicks, just like how I said earlier, they have the team chemistry. They have the reason they're called the Nova Knicks is because three of the players, Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, they all played together at Villanova. They won the Natty at Villanova, so they are just they're tight. They know how to communicate. You know, they're good. And so I had Knicks and I think I had Knicks in like 6 the last episode, and that's gonna hold true. It could be Knicks in 5, honestly, the way it's going. Next we have the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Indiana Pacers, and wow, you know, the Bucks didn't have Giannis Antetokounmpo, so you may think they did bad. No, they did amazing. Damian Lillard had 35 points in the first half of the game to lead the Bucks to a 109-94 victory over the Pacers, and they all shot horrible besides Siakam on the Pacers. Pascal Siakam had a double-double. I mean, I don't think Tyrese Halliburton didn't even get to 10 points. Your point guard didn't even get to 10. That's pretty bad. That's horrific. They shot horrific. I expect this to be more competitive. I mean, Damian Lillard really looks like he wants that ring. But I think I had Pacers winning this series because I heard the Giannis news. I'm like, oh, they can't function without Giannis. I'm wrong. That was bad. And the Pacers, I think, are done for. I think that's a tough loss to take. If the Bucks win again and go up 2-0, they're winning the series. No doubt about it. Because the Pacers just look horrendous. And there's a little bit, they're trying to extra hard. Of course, the playoffs are all trying hard, but the Pacers eliminated the Bucks in the in-season tournament. Did they? Yeah, they did. And Giannis dropped like 51 point, and the Pacers tried to take the ball. There's a whole beef history behind these teams from this season. And so they're trying a little extra hard. But I think the Bucks, if they win this next game, they're winning the series. And then next we have the Cavs versus Magic. And the Cavs, they're up 2-0, and the Magic are just too young, in my opinion. I think the Cavs have way more experience with Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, and everything than Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner. They just got way more experience than them. I mean, Donovan dropped 30 in the first game, 26 in the second game. Jared Allen had a double-double. They're better. I think I had the Cavs winning, and I still think that the Cavs are going to win. Where I had Cavs and I think I had Cavs in like 6 or 7. I thought the Magic could win, but honestly, I'm going Cavs in 5 right now. Cavs in 5. That's how I see it. It just didn't look good. They're just young. They're not used to playoff basketball. They don't have the team to make a run. They have a team to win a few games, to win 2 games, but they don't have a team to win a series, in my opinion, versus the Magic. And that's just how I see. That's honestly how I see it. The NBA playoffs are kind of unpredictable. They're predictable but unpredictable. It's not like March Madness where you don't know what's going to happen, but there's always that one player similar to March Madness that steps up on some random team that makes a name for himself, like the Heat did when they had their finals run, because he didn't really know the name of Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, and Caleb Martin, but you knew them after that game because they were lights out. And usually there's this one team that has a role player step up, but again, we're only the first 1 to 2 games into the series, so you know, anything's possible, anything's doable, but if the home teams keep winning, then this will just be a favorite. This will be the favorites for the NBA playoffs, which isn't bad because they're the best teams of this whole season. You want the best teams from the regular season to do well in the playoffs, but there's always that one team you kind of want them to upset people. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, overall, and also just the finals, I still have the Nuggets going to the finals. The way they beat the Lakers were hot going into this. They're like 24-10 in their last regular season games. That's how good they were. And the Nuggets are just acting. The Lakers are playing like that never happened against the Nuggets. So I got Nuggets still winning the championship, and I just hope the Mavs can do better. I hope the Mavs can do better. It would be so much fun for the city of Dallas, for my team, for me to be happy if the Mavs can win. But again, that's just my first round takeaways and first round predictions of the NBA playoffs. Now time for some HOCKEY, hockey. And I know I don't cover hockey because I know nothing about it. But I guess I shouldn't say nothing, but I know the Dallas Stars are amazing because I go see their games. And I think, here's a hot take. Here's a take that could get burnt, but it won't. Hockey games are the most fun professional sports atmosphere out of anything. The Dallas Stars do such a good job. I've been to Mavs game. I've been to a Cowboys game. I've been to multiple Rangers Astros games. Hockey has the best atmosphere. As soon as someone scores a goal, the place goes crazy and everyone's talking, and they have got the greatest traditions. You yell Stars during the national anthem. Arguably, hockey's the best thing to go to. And I can only imagine hockey atmosphere is great because we're in the playoffs. Now, granted, the Stars lost their first game to the Vegas Golden Knights. And anyway, I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to make my horrible playoff bracket with no education, just hunches and guesses and all of that. So this will be fun. But anyway, what I do know is that the Dallas Stars love to lose to the Vegas Golden Knights because we lost them in the playoffs last year, and they just beat us this year. I guess when I went to the game, they beat us. They beat us in overtime, and that was so sad to watch. They've got this guy in the Vegas Golden Knights called Jack Eichel, and he just torches us every single time we play. It's ridiculous. And they're up 1-0. And I'm hoping the Dallas Stars can come back and win this. And honestly, it seems like the Golden Knights are the toughest team we'll play up until like probably the Western Conference Final or the Stanley Cup Final. And so let's just say the Stars win this. Let's say the Stars win this. They beat the Vegas Golden Knights in 7. The next round, we'd play the Winnipeg Jets or the Colorado Avalanche, and we've beaten them both times in the regular season, multiple times. So we can win that playoff series. I believe that we can win that. Now, on the other side of the Western Conference bracket, you got the Vancouver Canucks, the Nashville Predators, the Edmonton Oilers, and the Los Angeles Knights. And here's the deal. If we play the Predators and the Oilers, it's scary hours. It's scary hours in Dallas. If we play the Canucks or the Knights, I think we've got it. I don't know anything about it. I just went to 2 hockey games where we played the Predators or the Oilers, and we lost both those games. Also, if you don't know, every time I go to a Dallas Stars game, they lose. Like, I think the last 4 games or 5 games I've went to that I can remember, we're 0-5 every time I go. The Vegas Golden Knights, we lost to. The Nashville Predators, we lost to. The Edmonton Oilers, we lost to. I went to those games. Did we play? I think I went to a Panthers game too, and we lost that game too. So anyway, every game I go to, we just lose. So I have whatever team, all the teams that are in the playoffs, I just kind of instantly don't like because we seem to lose. But anyway, when I see it on TV, we win. It's miraculous. But anyway, this little rant. The Vegas Golden Knights are probably our toughest test up until the final because they like to beat us. They own us. It's not a good look. Not a good look. It's never a good look to be owned by a Vegas team. Let's be honest. No one wants to be owned by the Raiders. No one wants to be owned by what's going to be the Oakland A's are going to be the Las Vegas A's. No one's going to want that. Is there another team? The Las Vegas? No, there's no NBA team. No, there's not. No one wants to be owned by a Vegas team. That's horrible. And right now the Stars are, so we got to pick it up. Come on, Jamie Benn. You're the captain. Come on, Ottinger. Block some goals. Come on. We got to do something. And then the next round we played the Winnipeg Jets or the Avalanche, and we should beat them. I believe we've beaten them most times in the regular season, or we just have the regular season's lead against them. And so I think we can beat that. We can win in round 2. Now the Western Conference Final, the Predators, the Oilers. The Oilers have Connor Bedard, and he's scary because he's really good at hockey. He's really, really good. He's probably some people compare him to Wayne Gretzky a little bit because he's just that good. He had 5 assists in the last, in his first game. He had 5 assists, he didn't even score, and they killed the Knights. Anyway, You got the Predators. The Predators, I think the Predators versus Stars will be a hard-fought matchup in the Western Conference Final. That would be an even Western Conference Final. I think we'd slightly edge out the Predators over the Oilers in whatever matchup that I can think of in my head. But the Oilers are the scariest team we could face in the Western Conference Final. But if I had to pick, I got Predators over Canucks, Oilers over Knights. If anything else happens in that region, I'll be pleasantly surprised. And I think we'll play the Colorado Avalanche in round 2. But the Winnipeg Jets also just scored 7 goals against them. But so we'll see. And if we were to go to in the Western Conference Final, we'll just say the Stars win because it's no fun to make a bracket where your favorite team loses. We'll go to the Stanley Cup Final. Teams I'd love to see in the Eastern Conference make it to the Stanley Cup Final. If they didn't have to play the Stars, I'd probably want them to win. Would be the Florida Panthers. You know, everyone kind of likes to hate on Florida because they're Florida and the National Hockey Association. You don't pair the two. They were good last year. They were an enjoyable team. You know, I'm not really, and they play the Lightning in the first round, and I'm not really a Lightning fan because they were kind of dominant in the late 2010s. So I don't really want them. They're still dominant. Obviously, you don't want the Boston Bruins to win. You know, they've won it all a lot. You don't want the Toronto Maple Leafs to win because they're in Canada. No American should root for the Canadian team. You know, you got the New York Rangers, and they're kind of enjoyable. You know, I kind of enjoyed them. The Washington Capitals would be cool, too, because they just snuck in the playoffs from what I remember. They just snuck in. They were bad, and then they just got good and snuck in as the kind of like one of the last spots. And the Carolina Hurricanes over the New York Islanders. That'd be kind of funny because New York loves hockey, and it would be cool. It'd be kind of funny if the hockey teams all lost up there. But anyway, if I had to pick a Stanley Cup final, if I had to pick a guess from the Eastern Conference all the way to make it to the final, the two obvious pick would be the Boston Bruins or the New York Rangers, and my sneaky pick would be the Florida Panthers. So that's how I don't know if that's even a sneaky pick. They're all the top teams in that conference. But anyway, if the Stars can make it to the finals, who's the best matchup they would play in the East? And in my honest opinion, I don't know. We'll see. I just hope they can make it. I hope they can win the final. I hope they can win it. They're the one seed team. They're like I've heard it on ESPN that they're actually America's team because everyone likes rooting for the Southern hockey teams because they're not really known. Like everyone liked rooting for the Arizona Coyotes when they existed because now they're getting moved to Utah, which is a horrible decision. It's a horrible decision to move any professional sports team because it doesn't reflect the people in that town. It reflects the ownership because it's your job to make the people want to go to the game, to give an enjoyable product. And you're just going to move them because there's no revenue. It's just sad. If you don't know, the Arizona Coyotes are getting moved to Utah because they didn't want to build they tore down their old stadium. They're going to build a new one, but they didn't want to build a new one in Arizona. They're going to build one in Utah. Horrible. You know, garbage. Anyway, everyone likes rooting for the Southern team, so that's why I like the Florida Panthers, the Dallas Stars, because all the rest of the teams are up, at least, you know, they're up north. They're the northern half of the United States. You know, the furthest south you get from then is like Carolina or Nashville. So, you know, that's just how I see. That's kind of how I see the NHL playoffs. I'd love the Stars to win. Who's my favorite Stars player? Jamie Benn. And you want to know why? Is because he is the captain on his jersey, and I bought that jersey because it looked cool. So he's my favorite player. Also, Ottinger is a cool name for the hockey, for the goalie. He's the goalie. His name, Jake Ottinger. That's a pretty good name. But anyway, those are my predictions for the Stanley Cup Final. I'd love for the Stars to win it all. You know, I like watching hockey because the fights, you get to shove people. It's not a soft sports. Soft sports are no fun to play. Like when NBA, they don't like to get physical, or, you know, baseball, like, I don't know. You don't really get physical in baseball. Like when they don't swing the bat, you know, and football, when they just shove someone, you love to see the big hits, and hockey brings it to you. It's really entertaining, and I'm kind of rambling on about hockey, but to sum it up, the Dallas Stars to win would be amazing. And those are my NHL hockey playoff predictions. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see as this season continues. It seems that we have a new, well, not really new, I think everyone knew it, but a new official king and queen in the professional golf landscape. Now, everyone kind of knows the rising star, Scottie Scheffler, and I'd even give him that he's the king of golf right now. because I've mentioned it in the previous episode talking about the Masters, but he's 4 out of 5 in his last PGA tournaments. Actually, and he just won his other tournament after the Masters on Monday. And so he's won the Arnold Palmer. He's won the Players. He was tied for second at the Houston Open. Honestly, that tied for second, he didn't even look like he was trying. He won the Masters. He just won the RBC Heritage. He's the first player to win the Masters and win the RBC Heritage and back-to-back since Bernard Langer in like the late 90s. So that's incredible. And let me just say, he's further ahead from the number 2 in the golf ranking, Rory McIlroy. So points-wise, how the professional golf landscape is made for the world official golf ranking, so that way you know if someone's number 1, number 2 in the golf world. They do it based off points and everything. They do it based off points for a first place, a second place, third place, and they make it all up, and there's some weird calculation in there. But anyway, it's basically based off points from where you place in the tournament. Scottie Scheffler is so far ahead that he's so far ahead of second, just the person behind him. Actually, let me rephrase this. He's further ahead. He's way further ahead in second in the golf ranking over Rory McIlroy than Rory is over 784th ranked Tiger Woods. So basically, Scottie is further ahead of Rory than Rory is ahead of Tiger, who's 784th. That's just crazy how much of a tear he's on. And I think, and his wife Meredith is close to giving birth. The Zurich Classic is after the RBC Heritage, and Scheffler is choosing not to play in that tournament to be with his family. And, I think the PGA Tour is really happy. I would be too. Your person that's taking all the money and winning everything's killing it. And also, Scottie Scheffler, just a little fun fact, he's 76 under par for those last 5 tournaments for his dominance, which is crazy. I think he could win another major. Now, here's the thing. I think he can win another major. It depends on how this kid stuff goes. Because a lot of players, when they have a kid, they just start doing horrible. Like Fowler didn't do good when he had a kid. Spieth didn't do good when he had a kid. I can't think of anything. I can't think of anyone. Homa was kind of on a little bit of a downturn when he had a kid. Koepka just had a kid, so we'll see. So... And then there's those other golfers that will get dad strength and win immediately after they have a kid. It's crazy how it works, but we'll see how it turns out with Scottie. I mean, he's made $16 million off this last month, basically, of tournaments. I mean, he got to fund daycare somehow. I mean, honestly, he's playing in all those tournaments probably just to fund the daycare in Highland Park. But, yeah, that's crazy. Now, that's crazy for the men's side. Now, I mentioned on the women's side because if you don't pay attention to the LPGA, that's okay. But Nelly Korda has won 5 straight tournaments in a row, better than Scottie. She is 61 under over the last 5 tournaments. She's won the Drive-On Championship, the Fur Hills Sari Park Championship, the Ford Championship, the T-Mobile Match Play, and the Chevron Championship. Sounds like I'm doing an ad read right now, but she's dominant. One of those was a major. It was the Chevron Championship was the major, which she last one. She jumped in the water, and she's on a tear. Now, it'd be interesting, I saw somewhere, if you put Nelly Korda and Scottie Scheffler just playing against each other, and you had the tees correctly based off like distances from the men and women, who would win? And honestly, Korda could possibly beat Scheffler. I mean, she's on a tear. Women's golf is a little different than men's golf. Men's golf is more power and just pushing the ball down the golf course, while women, they can't hit it as far, so they're very precise. They hit a ton of fairways because they don't typically have a fast swing speed, and if they're really on top of their game, their short game is incredible. So while they don't have the power to like overpower golf course and have eagle putts, they really get it close with their wedges and make birdies, and that is something that is incredible for me because I played high school golf, and yeah, that's incredible because I'd always like to hit my driver as far as I can, but my short game would be horrible. But just to see that from them is crazy. So the new king and queen in golf are here, and it looks like they're going to stay. It looks like I don't think Scottie's going to go anywhere. So yeah, I don't think any of them are going to go anywhere in the LPGA PGA world. I wouldn't be surprised if they won at least one more tournament before the season's over. And Korda's on a roll, so maybe she'll win 6 in a row in her next one. And the great thing is they're not stopping. Scheffler obviously has a reason to stop because he's his kid, but he's going to go out and soon he's going to go out for all the majors, obviously, and we'll see what his schedule looks like. And Corda's she's just living life. She's just winning tournaments and making money. That's all you need. All you need to do. So that's kind of like my little take on golf. How's that's going right now? Basically just reiterating how dominant they are. Actually, I guess the only other segment, but my favorite segment is on Burnt to Chrispy. Today we will be having the Wii Sports kind of like franchise games will be ranking from the Wii console. So we'll have Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resort, Wii Fit, Wii Play, and Wii Party. We're going to be ranking those games. Now, if you're unfamiliar, Wii Sports is kind of the basics of Wii Sports Resort. It's got tennis, boxing, golf, bowling, all that fun stuff. While Wii Sports Resort kind of has like all the summer games like archery, ping pong, pickup basketball, all of that fun stuff. Those are kind of the two well-known ones. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Wii Fit, that's okay because it had that little pad at the bottom, and that was kind of I guess that was more of like, how do I say this? It had the fat pad at the bottom, so you're always like kind of running on this like this white board at the bottom of your feet, and you're running on that. It was used for like to get you fit, and that was kind of a funny game. And if you're unfamiliar with Wii Play, it's kind of it's similar in the play style to all the other games, but it's more mini game focused. So you had a ton of options. You had like you did like mini games. It's basically like Mario Party but for the Wii. And that was how Wii Play worked. And Wii Party and Wii Play are basically the same thing. I feel like one's slightly better than the other, and I'll tell you that in a bit. But Wii Party is just another mini game focused game mode. And if you don't know any of these games I'm talking about, or you don't think I'm doing a great job explaining, because it's kind of hard to explain some of these games if you don't know them, I'd encourage you to look them up. And you should look up some of the funny clips on YouTube over them, because they're pretty hilarious. Anyway, from Burnt, and honestly, none of these games are bad. I know I'll say Burnt, but none of these games are horrible. Burnt, we're gonna have it's either Wii Party or Wii Play. I like them both, but I didn't really grow up playing them as much because the other games I felt like were a little better. And I'm gonna go with Wii Play as Burnt. Wii Play isn't bad. They've got like the skydiving game that you can play. They got a ton of stuff that you can play and everything, but Wii Party just has more. It's kind of like a basic how Wii Play works. Wii Play is kind of like a basic game compared to Wii Party. And the thing is, Wii Play is good, but Wii Party just makes it so much better. So we're going to lead off into the next one. So Wii Play is Burnt. Wii Party is... Actually, no. Wii Party is not going to be fourth. Wii Fit is going to go fourth. Now, Wii Fit's kind of funny because you're supposed to be like jumping up and down on this pad, like working out basically on the board, but you're playing a Wii game, and it's pretty fun for a workout. But it's kind of frustrating sometimes because that whiteboard at the bottom doesn't track, or like they have a weight scale on there. And if you were like typing it's just like, it's worse than the BMI scale with the Nintendo scale used. Like you could be really fit and muscular and they don't track that. You could be like, you could be really fit and muscular and they won't track any of that. I know I just repeated that word for word. And they won't track it. They'll say you're overweight, basically. They say everyone is overweight on the game. I've never seen anyone be underweight on that game. And for that, Wii Fit will go fourth, and it's pretty funny for that. And third, we'll have Wii Sports. Now, Wii Sports is incredible. You've got tennis. Boxing is so much fun. Boxing with Matt is so much fun. That makes the whole game. You also got tennis, golf, all of that fun stuff. But Wii Sports Resort is just better. It is so much more fun. And that's not in a bad way. That's just a credit to the developers and how they developed that game into something incredible. And so in second, I'll have Wii we'll have Wii Party. Almost mixed the two. Wii Party will go in second. Like I said, it's just a fun mini game type of game. I loved it. It's so much fun. You can do so many things with your friends. They even had a Wii Party U. That's how successful it was. And it's just like a mini game battle, and it's pretty entertaining. And anyway, so it's hard to describe some of these games because it's like you have to describe each and every mini game, and that would take forever. But you got to take my word for it that those are so much better. They're charging $82.95 for a Wii Sports Resort game on Amazon. That's how good. That's how you know it's good, because they're charging. There's on used Walmart. They're charging $150 for a Wii Party U game, and a Wii Sports Resort game they're charging $82. That's how you know these games are good. If you see the games resell and they're under $10, you know it's okay. It wasn't popular. But if you see some of these older games like I'm seeing right now online, and they're over like $20, that's how you know how the game is good. It's still a good game on an older console. And with that, it leads into Wii Sports Resort. Number one, they've got like dog fighting with the airplanes. They got table tennis. They got the basketball. It is so much fun. I played that for hours growing up. Probably made me what I am today. But that game is incredible. I have Switch Sports on my Switch. It's okay compared to the Wii Sports Resort. Wii Sports Resort was the perfect game created. The only critique I have of Wii Sports Resort, if you could explore the island and you had mini games you could do throughout the island versus just the sports you could do, it would be incredible. Also, if you could just explore the island in an airplane, and there's no time limit, that'd be great. But overall, that game is so much fun. There's so many hidden details. There's so many things you can do. It takes you forever. You can play with friends. It's the best game by far. That's not just the other games. It's just that this game was so well put together. So to finalize it, and Burnt, I have, I have Wii Play and Burnt. And fourth, I guess that's fifth. And fourth, Wii Fit. And 3, Wii Sports. And 2, Wii Party. And number 1, Wii Sports Resort. So that's my take on the Wii, the Wii Sports kind of franchise games on the Wii. I kind of just said that twice. Anyway, we're going to move on into today in sports history. It was today, April 23rd, and 1914, so over 100 years ago, that the MLB Chicago Federals hosted the Kansas City Packers, and the first game played at Weeman Park, which is now known as Wrigley Field. So today in sports history was the first day a game was played at Wrigley Field. And there's a lot of none of those team names stuck. Like the only thing that stuck was Chicago and Kansas City. I mean, the Federals, I don't even know why that was a team name. That's not a good name. And the Kansas City Packers, and now you think Packers and you think Green Bay. So a lot of times have changed. At Weeman Park, I bet if you mentioned Weeman Park to anyone outside of Chicago, no one would know what it is. But everyone knows Wrigley Field. So yeah, that's pretty cool that, today 1914 was the first ever game played at Wrigley Field. And moving on, I just want to say thank you for listening to this episode of the Crispy Fried Take Sports Podcast. And hopefully you can give us a follow on whatever media platform you're listening to, and keep on listening. And also a special shout out to my listener in Malawi, Africa. That's pretty cool. We're international, like I've mentioned earlier. Pretty cool. So hopefully you can just keep on listening over there on the other side of the world. And so I just always want to reiterate, it's only going to get better from here. We're going to keep on trying new things and just keep on taking this podcast to the next level. So I hope you can let this episode sizzle in a bit, and I'll catch you here next week with me, Chrispy. So thank you for listening, and have a great rest of your day.